Today, we're taking you on a journey into the soul of the underground with an exclusive sit-down featuring one of Ohio's rising stars, Raven Rae. We talk about the realities of womanhood, navigating chronic illness, and what it really means to make music with meaning in today's industry. So don't go anywhere. Hit that like button, subscribe if you haven't already, and let's discover Raven Rae together. This is a conversation you don't want to miss on Worldwide Entertainment TV Network.
Okay, so today we have Raven with us to tell us about her endeavors. Could you tell us which area of the world you are?
Yes, I am in Ohio.
Ohio?
Yes,
So how is the music scene over there?
it's going well here. There's a lot of underground artists and a lot of bands, a lot of people who are still trying to make a name for themselves.
Yeah. So how would you describe your legends of your area? Like the artists over there that you would like the world to know?
Yeah, so I don't know if you know the Kinsman Daz band. They created the song Let It Whip. They're from Cleveland, Ohio.
Yeah.
We also have a group here called Hubs Groove. They're really great and big. Those are like a couple of the legends that really like boomed here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know, wasn't Bone Thugs and Harmony from Cleveland too?
I've heard that they were, yes.
Yeah. So did your area inspire you to get into music as well?
Yeah, definitely. I went to an art school that's very prominent in my city. And
Yeah.
so that was like the biggest part of the arts culture for me was growing up in that environment where they nurtured us. So from middle school, seventh grade until 12th grade, we got like college level training and like got to do professional gigs from like a really young age. So that kind of just gave me the bulk of my training from like age 11.
Yeah. Oh, so you started young
Yes,
doing the music.
yes. I started
Yeah.
very young. I started singing when I was about 5 at church, and then I kind of just kept snowballing and learning and growing more into my gift
Yeah.
and meeting new people to mentor me. And they really like poured into me and my gift and gave me a safe place to explore my music and learning different styles to sing. So, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So how would you describe your style of music?
That's a very good question. I actually struggle with
Yeah.
that question because I'm one of those artists that does every genre under the sun.
Okay.
So I prominently describe it as Baroque soul, which is kind of like soul music that adds a classical twist to it. So there's
Yeah.
elements of R&B, but you'll also hear like strings and orchestral sounds, but it's very deeply rooted in soul and rhythm and blues and jazz.
All right.
hmm
So who would you consider to be the greatest singers of all time and why?
You want to know my top 5?
Yeah.
Okay, that's easy. Let's see. So we got Whitney, we got Mariah, we got Luther, we got Minnie Riperton, and I'll give you Michael Jackson.
Can't go wrong with any of those.
Yes.
So why do you consider some of them as the GOAT?
I would say the talent is top tier, but not
Yeah.
only that, they always made you feel something with their music. And
Oh,
there was always a level of class and clarity with their message. And they
yeah.
always kind of just used their music as a catalyst to get something across to you. It wasn't just fun or a party. It was always like a message behind what they were saying, even if it was just a love song. It always kind of had like a double entendre or like a double meaning to it.
Yeah.
So I'm singing about someone I love, but I'm also singing about like my hometown or what love means to me at a deeper level. So yeah, I think that's why I would consider them the best outside of their voices.
Yeah. So out of artists out there today, who would you love to collaborate with and why?
Justin Bieber and Tori
Yeah.
Kelly. So just from a very young age, Justin Bieber was my favorite. I was what they call a believer. So I had all the posters on my wall. I had all of his
Yeah.
merchandise. I had his CDs. I had everything. So he was like my Prince or my Michael Jackson. I'm like in that
Yeah.
generation. So he was one of those people that I really looked up to because he just posted videos on YouTube and he blew up and he gained this large fan base of believers, people who believed in him and his message. And his
Yeah,
music was always just like inspiring. So that's what like really drew me to him and why I love him so much. And then Tori Kelly, she is someone who sings about her faith, and her message is like one of hope and inspiration, just the same as Justin, but in
yeah.
her own way.
Okay.
Mhm.
So could you tell us about your latest project?
Yes. So my latest project is called Discover Me. And it's about like womanhood. It's about me becoming a new wife. It's about me discovering and changing and growing into the Raven I am today. All
Yeah,
of my old album or my previous albums, I say, were more about my metamorphosis and kind of going through life as an adolescent and going to therapy and learning and
yeah,
growing and new things about myself. And so this album was just like a fun, more pop upbeat type album of like we made like almost like we made it, we're here. So it's
yeah.
like a kind of a celebration of like who I am and who I've always been underneath the sadness.
Okay. So tell us about some of the singles off of it.
Yeah, sure. So I'll tell you about my favorite song on the album. It's called My Body, and it's
Yeah,
about my journey with my ulcerative colitis, my chronic illness. And that song is just like so important to me because not only does it bring awareness to like the millions of people who are struggling and going through this illness just as I am, but
yeah,
it also, I think, provides people with hope, and it gave me a lot of clarity on what my purpose is. And I believe that that's to let people know that you can have a disability and a dream. You don't have
yeah.
to choose between both and just focus on getting better or focus on rising to the top. You can do both, and I think I'm here to show people that.
Okay. So you believe to have messages in your music. You believe song is for that reason.
Yes, definitely, definitely. Yes. I kind of think if you use it for, you can use your powers for good or you can use your powers for evil.
Yeah. See? Yeah. Yeah. So when you're doing your music, how do you come to creating it? Like song topics and completing the whole process of going in the studio.
I use anything I'm going through, any experience, and usually my albums always have a concept, so none of my music is like just a project of a bunch of songs that I thought sounded good together. Each
Yeah.
one has its own story and is a continuation of the previous one. So it's kind of just one big long story of like where I started and where I am now. So I kind of just use like any symbolism or different things that I might be inspired by. For example, the first album was The Borderline. It's like this place where the sad you and the happy you meet, and you're
Yeah.
able to come to some kind of a compromise to say, well, I have to live my life, so you're gonna have to get along here. Like one person can't, constantly rule or so to speak. It's kind of the balance of you won't always be happy all the time, but you always shouldn't
One.
be sad either. So that was that one, and then the next one was the butterfly for metamorphosis, and then the next one was believing in love, and then discover me was the diamond, mining a diamond, discovering a diamond within
Yeah.
yourself. Yeah, so that's kind of how I come up with the concepts is just like anything I'm inspired by.
So when you listen to artists and then they hit you with some of their music, but then you say to yourself, "Oh, I wonder what this artist is like in this situation, or how they would respond to what I'm going through."
Yeah, I see. I would say what I want them to know about myself is that, like, through anything I've gone through, I've always just tried to use like music as a springboard. And I
Yeah,
think it's something that anybody can do. And I think what makes my music relatable is that I'm not necessarily saying you have to be going through depression or anxiety or sadness or being chronically ill. Like you can be going through anything. Some people are going through divorces right now. Some people are
yeah,
losing their parents. Some people are struggling with finances. Some people are lost their jobs. So it's like a big world of everything. And then some other people are experiencing like the best year of their life for the first time. Somebody just became a millionaire. Somebody just
Yeah.
started a business. Somebody just had a baby. Somebody just got married. So it's like there's a whole world of things that you can kind of relate to within my music, I think, no matter who you are. So I would just kind of say the thing I want them to know about me is like, I guess this being an earlier interview in my career is that I'm always going to give the people the things that are relatable, the things that are deep, and the things that have substance. That's who I am. I'm a high vibrational artist. I give substance. You're not going to find the classless things from me. You have to go
Yeah.
elsewhere to get that. So that's just like who I am at my core. I'm just Raven Rae.
Okay. So, is there anything else that you want us to know how to get your music?
Yeah. You can stream my music everywhere. I'm on Instagram at Raven Rae Official. But my music is on all streaming platforms. It's on
Yeah.
YouTube. Yeah, anywhere you find music, you'll find me.
Okay.
Hmm